There's never been a better time to buy Bitcoin than right now. And I still think it has 10x upside until it's getting started. It's eliminated all the risks of failure. Crypto is now part of the global capital markets. It's $3 trillion. Stocks are $100 trillion. Bonds are another 100 trillion or something. So it's a sliver, it's like a percent. But of those $200 trillion, they have no exposure to Bitcoin. I think institutions have to buy $1.5 trillion worth of Bitcoin until they get to level. Imagine what $1.5 trillion coming into Bitcoin does to the price. Until Bitcoin is as large as gold, it's still early. There's still a 10x until we match gold.
So we talked about traditional investing before.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all these books you can read 2, 3, 5, 600 pages. They will tell you buy
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Or buy an ETF,
Yeah.
buy the S&P 500, buy the Nasdaq.
Yep.
And then we said in crypto, buy an index, right? How much does this traditional investing principle work in crypto?
Oh, it all works. We even have our own words for it. Like what is HODL? HODL is buy and hold, right? If you put it in a pinstripe suit and put a top hat on it, same thing as buy and hold. Same thing you read in those books. We just make fun of it here in crypto. What is buy the fucking dip? It's dollar cost average, right? We just use a different word for it. I think with a few small exceptions where I can't think of a direct tie, almost everything that is true about traditional investing is true in crypto. So costs matter. Long-term buy and hold will outperform most asset picking. Dollar cost averaging is a good idea. You should buy low and sell when it's high to keep in your tolerance. There are a few areas where I think there are differences. Crypto is a less efficient market. So I think there is arbitrage opportunities that exist in crypto that are real, that don't exist in the traditional world at the scale they do in crypto. I think staking is a fairly unique thing in crypto for which there's no sort of direct analogy in traditional investing. But the same rules of like buy, hold, rebalance, those are going to, those have worked in investing for hundreds of years. I don't think there's anything about crypto that's changed it.
There's 10,000 new coins every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could be much more, could be less. But
Yeah.
I read something like that, 80,000 a week.
Yeah.
Millions of coins now out there.
Yeah.
What are the crypto assets that I can buy and hold for the long term?
Yeah. Bitcoin. No, look, the way I think of it, Bitcoin. I don't think you could just buy it and be dead. I think you have to rebalance it. I would guess that Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana will be here for the long term, and everything else underneath that may or may not. It's
That's so important. That's so important because when you say, hey, 80-20, that means like, hey, you're 80%. I mean, that's what also Raoul Pal says all the time, right? He says, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
70 to 90% should be in top 3 assets.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to end up like most people are ending up now, right? In the middle of a bull run, most likely, but wrecked and depressed and down. And
that's right. It's the saddest thing in the world. Whereas if you have the 80% in mostly Bitcoin, you're up 100 and what percent over the last year, like pretty good. So what if you got wrecked?
You know what you said before, and that's so important for people to understand, but they don't, and they don't want to hear it, which is, let's say you are at the beginning of a bull market. So you're in the bear market. You look at, okay, I think we were at like 1 trillion more or less at the bottom, right?
Yep.
And then you say, and maybe previous bear market, maybe 200 billion, I don't remember, right? But you go 200 billion, or let's say 100 billion to 3 trillion. So that's 30x for the whole industry. And then down to 1 trillion, but you're still like up 5x.
Yeah.
Yet people end up with less money. They not only lose their money, they put in more money and they lose that money too, right?
That's right. Yeah.
While the industry goes up 5x.
Yes. Yes.
And 30x from bottom to top, and then 5x from bottom to bottom. And then you're thinking, okay, 1 trillion. I was actually tweeting about that like a year and a half ago. I was like, the industry will go from 1 trillion to 10 trillion, whatever it is, whatever the number is, but let's say 10x. And then we'll go back down to 5 trillion.
Yeah.
So basically we'll be up 5x. Yet you will manage to lose all your money. And some more. And that's the thing that most people don't understand. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really sad. And it's really sad. And you could do even better if you had a target allocation. You sold, when it went up a lot. You bought when it went down a lot. But yeah, don't let that happen to you, right? Like if you're in crypto right now, you've had this insight that most of the world hasn't had, which I feel very confident is right, which is that this thing is just getting started and it's going to be really important. It's a generational opportunity. You've already done the hard work. Don't then, shoot yourself in the foot.
You said it's just getting started.
It's just getting started. Yeah.
Tell me more. Again, I have to repeat the tweet from before. I didn't want the 3 to 5x, so I chose the minus 99% instead, which is this hits hard a lot of people in crypto.
Yeah.
3 to 5x. This is the tweet. What's the realistic long-term upside from here for assets like Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol? And you are the best position to understand that because you're seeing institutions and what they're doing, and you know how much money they have. And therefore, you know what's the potential upside. And before you said, when I went into Bitwise 2017, I was thinking 10x.
Yeah.
I think more 50x, right? So tell us more about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you two quick views on Bitcoin specifically. I think until Bitcoin is as large as gold, we were just getting started. It's still early. And I think once we get to as large as gold, then we can talk about, is it 5x bigger than gold? Is it 3x bigger than gold? Is it 2x bigger than gold? But there's still a 10x until we match gold. And try to think of another area where there's a physical and a digital analog where the physical is still bigger. Is physical newspapers bigger than digital newspapers? Is physical advertising bigger than digital advertising? Are DVDs bigger than stream? I've really struggled to come up with even one example. And so I think until we get to Bitcoin, you're actually still, until we get to gold level, you're actually still early. And it's only after gold that we start counting, like, how big could this thing be? So you have a 10x until you're no longer early, right? And then beyond that, the other angle is from an institutional perspective. The thing about institutional investors is their starting point is what's called a benchmark portfolio. And a benchmark portfolio means owning everything. So like an index of stocks, the S&P 500, you can think of that as the benchmark portfolio, right? That's where they start. And then if they want to overweight NVIDIA or underweight Ford or overweight Tesla, they can tweak around the edges, but they have to get to this starting point. Crypto is now part of the global capital markets, right? It's $3 trillion. Stocks are $100 trillion. Bonds are another 100 trillion or something. So it's a sliver. It's like a percent. But of those $200 trillion, they have no exposure to Bitcoin. They don't own it yet. So it's not like a little bit of money has to come into Bitcoin. I think institutions have to buy $1.5 trillion worth of Bitcoin until they get to level. Imagine what $1.5 trillion coming into Bitcoin does to the price. Like, who is going to sell? How much will it go up? I think it'll be really significant. People look at the Bitcoin ETFs last year, they did $37 billion. People put $37 billion in. The price went up substantially. So there's more buying than selling. I think you got to put $1 trillion into this just to get to level. And it's just too much money. It has to come in. So I think the people who are worried that I actually think there's never been, on a risk-adjusted basis, a better time to buy Bitcoin than right now. I think it's eliminated all the risks of failure. Those are all gone. And I still think it has 10x upside until it's getting started. until it's no longer early. And then I think it has upside from there.